Heyo everybody, it's Audrey from Audrey Lynn Studios on the west side of Canada near Vancouver. So on my last kiln opening, I pulled out these plates. My friend wants me to do 2 mugs with irises because that's her favorite flower. So these were my testing plates. Although I would like them to be a little bit more vivid, they are tests. They turned out great for tests, but in my kiln opening, I asked if you guys wanted me to post the video of me painting them. Kind of goes through my thought process, and I use 2 different ways. One using just water and another using gum solution. So, and the gum solution is, because I don't actually mention it in the video, is Laguna gum solution. So if you're at all interested, just keep watching, I guess. If you're not interested, see you in the next kiln opening. So first things first, we're going to choose one of these irises and get it on these plates. Now, I think I would really like to choose something. I think this one could be good. Let's see here. I think this one is good. This one's not my favorite, but I think it shows the most yellow, so that's why I want to use it. So I'm going to transfer this drawing onto both these plates. Okay, so let's just center that on there. And I think this is made by Mako. I'm not really sure. I bought it from the place where I learned my pottery, and that's going to be a while ago now. So some sort of carbon paper will probably work for you. I'll see if I can find the link for that. I think maybe it was a Mako thing, but I'm not really sure now. So let's see if it's transferring. Nope. Am I using the right side? I might not be using the right side, so let's test it. Yeah, could be kind of old too. Let's go down here. Oh, it's better down here. All right, then, let's do this. Fling. Yeah, it is old, so let's try that again. That's working. I was hoping not to be so dark, but well, I think it burns off. That was the deal about it, is that it burnt off. Okay, a little bit of greenery here. I'm not so concerned about the green. It's mostly the yellow. Now, where is the yellow? The yellow's right in here. And the yellow's right in here. And then there's yellow right in here. Yeah. Go a little bit harder up here. I think it's the paper is just so old. Ah, good enough. All right. Something like that. All right, let's do this one. Let's try these. And I think there's some of these. Might as well try them. I mean, the mug's going to have them on. Yay, good. All right, excellent. So let's just stick that in there right now. So what I'm pulled out here, I'm going to be using all kiwis. This is Admiral Blue. And it is not the same blue as that. But this was not really the correct blue anyway. So I'm going to be trying this one. And kiwi, oops, maybe I shouldn't do that. Kiwi is a very flowing underglaze. So it, you know, I think it's really good for watercolor technique because it's very flowing. You need to have like 3 solid coats to get this really dark blue. But and I didn't bother doing like 1 coat, 2 coat, 3 coat. But I do know that 1 coat makes it really see-through-ish. I also, when I did this kind of thing with a different underglaze, I would add quite a bit of water. So anyway, I'm gonna go get my skewer for mixing. It's really always hard to know. It's not like I do this a lot, which is why I'm documenting, because I need to look back at what I did. All right. Let's put that on there so you can see how runny that is. I don't know, did you see how runny that was? You can hear it and you can see it. That's how runny it is. Now, what I'm concerned about is putting this on full strength and then it doesn't look watercolory enough for me. So I think what I'm going to try and do is just wet the bisque. Now, I've tried before using gum arabic, but why don't we do this one without gum arabic? So I'm going to add some water in that, and I'm gonna, so far this is looking the way I like it. And I tend to do that. I think I want it lighter because in here I keep it quite light. So I'm going to wet the next one. I think I like that better. And the reason why is because I can always come in with another coat and start strengthening the outside edges, right? And I can introduce a little bit of royal purple. Now, that's a bit of a browny purple. That's what I want. I see this purple, and I'm wondering if I was to mix it. I think this one might be a little bit dark. So that's lilac? Yeah, lilac. All right, let's try lilac. This is just testing. You got to see what happens, right? First, I'm just going to try it right on top. Oops. Now I'm going to mix the two. Let's see, let's put it, mixing the two, let's put it in here. And then this would go on the outside. It's not turning my crank yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to add purple. So let's do this one. Yeah, that's better. See how much water I use there? So this is the beautiful thing, is if you want to start again, you can. You just do this. I actually can still see my drawing there. So that's beautiful. Now, why don't we just start again with this same one and see what happens since I wet it down. Let's wet it first. And go really, really light. That's not really light yet. Nope, that's not really light yet. I'm talking light. Okay, that's closer to what I want. So now, trying to get a rim around here, it's not working. Here we go. Not bad. this is the underside of this petal. No, the thing is, if it's too dark, then it's too dark. Like you can't get it off. But that's okay. Okay, so you can soften those edges just like you do in watercolor, so that's pretty handy. Let's see if you tried to start. Yeah, you can soften them here too, so that's pretty handy. Okay, that's handy. All right. This in here is not working yet, so and that's mostly because as it gets down here, it should be darker, and as it's over here, it should be darker, and a little bit in here. Let's do this one. Just getting there. I mean, I think the hardest part for me is that you know, it's just learning how bisque works differently than watercolor paper. So, because with watercolor paper, things just kind of sit on top and move around a little bit. This just soaks right in, which is why on this one, I'm going to try gum arabic and see what happens. So let's just keep going then. Here is a bit of the furl, but that's not, that needs to be a little bit darker. There we go. Like that. That's how that needs to be. And it should be actually lighter. Yeah, it's just not turning my crank yet, that's for sure. This is not turning my crank at all. This right here. Let's just put color on it all and see what happens first. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to throw some yellow in here just to get my bearings. So I'm using amber yellow, it looks like. It's just flat to me. It needs It needs, maybe I should be putting in red. What about this one? Maroon. Let's see here. Maroon. Let's mix this blue and this maroon and see what happens. That is not looking, I'm really looking for something quite, maybe this again is still too subdued. I think it's too subdued. I think it needs to be this red, which is Christmas red. Okay. And that's why you do all of the test tiles. Let's try this. It just doesn't look that... They just don't look mixed, but they are. All of them are totally mixed. But they're just so thin that it dekes me out. All right. Let's put some of this blue. Yeah, it's more like it. It's just still, I don't know. Maybe what's going to happen is that once it's fired, it's going to look fine. So I think what we should do then is let's wet this whole thing and just do a petal or two with this in and see what happens. Like you put a little bit there and a little bit there. Yeah, I should stick in some red. You know, I mean, what's worse can happen? This is just a test plate. At this point, it looks too muddy, but you know, that could just be because it's not fired yet. All right, let's put some in here. Why don't we just leave this little one here without any purple? Okay. Ooh. All right, I'll put in some more yellow. And then I've got some, like here, just little bits of like burnt sienna. So I'm going to, and these are the two test tiles I have. not this, this. That's not quite right either, but yeah, that's the thing though. Usually I have to mix. So what we'll do is use that and maybe mix the two. All right, now there needs to be some movement in these. So I'm going to do that with mostly blue, maybe a little bit of red, and with the very, very tip, it might not be enough yet, but you don't have to do the whole petal. It's just the idea of the movement. The observer's eye will fill it in. Okay, this one is a little bit tricky. Let's and then I'm going to put something here. Right. The only other thing that's kind of bugging me is this. And I think I'm just going to take some blue. Just here and there. Do that. And then we need to do down here. There. Okay. I'm going to leave the green because we got these colors going on. So, ooh, that's not a very nice big blob. Get rid of that. And now I'm going to try with gum Arabic. This is Gum Solution by Laguna. So let's try it with that. See what happens. See how it behaves. Ooh, kind of moldy. Oh, I can't remember what this is supposed to look like. I hope it's not off. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I should put it into its own little. That's good. All right. Let's try this. So Gum Solution sits on top of the bisque a little bit more. It moves around better. You see how that behaves differently? Like that's more watercolorish. So it can be a handy little tool. All right. Something tells me this is going to be the solution. It does move lots better. This is good. Oh, that one needs a little bit more blue. And if you've never done watercolor before, what you have to do is save your lights. So you start light and then you go dark. Generally. There's lots of techniques where you start dark, but generally that's how it is. Okay, and then here. That works much better. Much better. All right, so now I'm going to go back here. Yeah, it's totally nice. And go back here and quickly, because I don't want to move anything that I just did, although it doesn't seem to be moving that quick anyway. And put in another layer of blue, but this time I'm going to concentrate around the edges. And just going to soften out the edges. Let's see already. Okay. Okay. Do this one. Mm-hmm. Water. Soften out those edges, and then oh shoot, I forgot to leave. Oh, that's okay though. That's because I forgot to leave for the yellow part there, but that's okay because that will be a good test of whether or not we can bring it back or not. I like this here. This is the kind of light I'm looking for right there. Okay, now I'm going to put some purples in. And yeah. Oops. Oops, picked up some red there. I'm going to leave it because maybe that's going to work for me. Okay, now I'm going to use this brush to pull out some of this color. And you can do this on watercolor paper too, to bring that back to white. And so you can make it yellow. Good. And then I'm going to mix some yellow with this. What was this again? Copper. Just to give it some interest, otherwise it's just flat yellow. Right. this one is bugging me. That one needs a little more depth on the edge. Same with here. More depth here. And I think actually in most places it looks like it needs just a little bit more. Ah. Good thing it stays where you put it. Okay, my phone had run out of space, so we're going to just, I'll try and keep a better eye on it. Oh, right, I was going to try this brush. I can't remember. Oh, it might have been a Michael Hartbridge brush, but you can see, look at that. So maybe this would, oh yeah, that's better. That's a better brush for that. You might not even be able to see it. It's so fine. Let's go this way. See it? I think I'm liking that because it's one of those things where it doesn't have to be super, super obvious. It just has to be there. Okay, and then I'm going to do some this too in here. It's so fine. You can, I guess what I'm supposed to do actually is fill up the brush. There we go. Because the idea is the color comes from here and keeps flowing down to the tip. But yeah, could work. I think we might have to just leave it at that and see what happens here. And once it's fired, then I'll have a better understanding of what I can do with the underglazes and whether these colors worked or not. Okay, let's just put that aside and And I like this bit of darkness and light here though, like not just all the same color. So, oops. You know, some's a little bit dark and some's a little bit light. I think that's going to be good. Good for a test anyway. And now I'm going to just put a little bit here, down there. And then we'll go to some greens and just get this thing done. Oops. So nice you can just pull back some color. You know, if you want some disappearing edges like you usually do, well, that I usually do in watercolor, you can pull it away here. Nice. All right, I'm just going to grab some greens. Okay, so I chose this one as under, which is apple green. And where did I put it? Oh, here. Apple green, and then this middle green is meadow green, and this dark green is forest green. So let's start with apple green, and we're going to go back to this plate, and this is the one where we did not use gum arabic. I mean, gum solution. So I'm just going to wet it. There we go. And then our medium green. A little water. Okay. Good, and then forest green. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to put too much work into it, but we'll see how that works out. So let's do the gum Arabic one. Gum solution. I didn't actually draw any leaves on there, so I'm just going to have to wing it. I'll just put in some things. I mean, I just want to know what the color is going to look like, right? All right, and then a little bit of the forest green. All right. I'm going to put zinc-free clear on this next. Okay, I'm using Mako zinc-free clear. And needs new plastic. I'm going to put it on this plate first so that I can get it nice and smooth on my brush and see. Could be a little bit thinner. I don't want it to be cloudy on my plate, so I like it just a little bit thinner. Couple coats. Okay, that's one. There. There we go. So I'll put that into my next hill node, and that one's going to be oh, I need to redo this plastic. Will be a slow cool program to cone 6, and we'll see what these look like. Okay, I hope you liked it. I mean, if you're watching this and you've made it to the end, then you're interested in doing this type of painting, which is a watercolor style. And of course, for those of you that have been following me know that I do watercolor. So, oh, and I did actually, which is going to look way more vivid than this, but my watercolors are right here. Just a second. Okay, so like actual watercolor on paper and using underglaze on stoneware, two completely different beasts, right? But so these are definitely brighter, but I needed to, because I'd never done an iris, so I needed to practice, try it out. So, and these ones are done with kind of a mix of my Lynn watercolor paints you can get off of Amazon, and Daniel Smith, which is my absolute favorite pigment. But when I'm at the cottage, I just take what I've got, right? So, and then this was a smaller one, and this was 2. So those were my tests. And then of course, you know, I'm trying to get that done on stoneware, but it just takes a little while. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.